together. There's nothing better. It's now or never. Make it through somehow. Make it through somehow.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Mommy Me Please podcast. My name is Shay Bland, and today I have a very, very, very special guest, my doula, my friend, my headache, my sister. It is Kaya Hopkins, and she has two daughters, Journey and Justice, and they are 3 years old. That's Journey, and then Justice is 3 months.
Yum.
So welcome to the show, Kaya.
Thank you. I'm so excited.
I am too. Okay, so today we're talking like all about breastfeeding, and so I want to pick your brain because I feel like you know a lot about it, and I just want to help some other moms out. And so first question I'm going to ask is, should it hurt when you breastfeed?
No, it should not hurt. However, it does hurt because we don't know what we're doing. Like, we don't know. We've never had somebody sucking on our nipples that long for hours and hours. And you're sleep deprived and you're hungry and you like shaking because of hormone. Like, it's just a lot. So it shouldn't hurt. The main thing is making sure you have like a good latch. Like, the lips need to be flanged out like a fish. And if you hear like that clicking sound, sometimes you hear that click. That means that there's like space in there. We want to make sure that it's like a super good latch and she's latched on really, really good, or he, whatever. But it shouldn't hurt. However, it did hurt for me the first time I did it. My first baby, Journey, loved breastfeeding. It was super fun. But the latch like made my nipples like lipstick tubes. They were chapped, they were bleeding, they were bloody. Sometimes my breast milk was red because it was blood in there. Because of the fact that the latch was wrong. But once we got that together, it was fine. Now this time with Justice, it is so easy. Like, it's like second nature. It's super cool. Yeah.
Right. So I remember you telling me that, right? But then I got home and I could see, like, depending on what side she was on, I could see like that side of her mouth. But I couldn't see like the other side of her mouth. So like what I did is I kept like taking my finger and I would like go all the way around and try to like and it's weird when they're like small because their mouths
their lips are so small.
Yeah, it's just like, open your lips up. But honestly, like when I mean, obviously you were there, but Aubrey like latched really easily. And so but once she got home, one of my nipples was like flat, and so like one of them was like she couldn't really latch. So it did hurt, but I feel like because I knew from the jump, like, okay, make sure her latch is right. I don't have that like horror story that everybody like. I didn't bleed, they didn't get chapped.
That's a blessing, especially first baby. And
I did use nipple cream because, like you said, your nipples aren't used to somebody just buy
all day, and then sleep.
Right, and so it's like constantly rubbing up against the skin. So I did use nipple cream, but I didn't have the horror story. So with all that being said, y'all make sure the latch is right.
Make sure the latch is right.
Hurt. That's all you hear is it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt.
And then honestly, you hear that and you start believing that and you start expecting it to hurt. So it's like if you're educated to know stuff like this, where it's like, okay, it shouldn't hurt. Make sure the latch is good. When the latch is good, it shouldn't hurt. And it might be sore a little bit because they are sucking on it for a while, but after that, you should be good.
Yes. Okay. So, what do you believe about milk regulation insider?
She's funny. Okay, so with milk, here's the thing. Like, at the beginning, well, first of all, from pregnancy, your breast has been creating milk. Like, it's ready. The colostrum, the first milk, those first couple of days, like, it's ready. It's good. As soon as your placenta detaches from your uterine wall, your body's like, okay, time for breast milk. It's time to feed the baby, because the placenta is where the baby, their food supply came from. So now it's like, hey, we in the real world. Like, I need milk, right? So your body has milk. Now, at the beginning of your pregnancy and then the beginning of actually you have your baby, it's all a hormonal push. So that's why we leaking so much at the beginning. It's like, oh, what's going on? Like, they're heavy, da-da-da. You're producing milk off of your hormones. Then it'll shift to supply and demand. So the main thing for women is like, we have to make sure we're like latching the baby on as much as possible, especially those first couple of weeks. Like, it's hard, it's annoying, it's like you're sleepy, you just had a baby, and you're just like all the things. People want to come over and see your baby, all that stuff. But it's like to put that baby on your breast as much as possible to help them. It helps your milk supply, it helps the regulation. It's just beneficial.
So I remember, like I be saying, the first 2 weeks was like really, really hard because I felt like Aubrey wanted to eat
nonstop
all day, every day. And I was like, Kaya, what's wrong with her? Like, why does she just want to be?
Is my milk in?
And it's just like, I just I just fed you. But okay, I remember you just said something about like colostrum. I think people get really, really, really confused and like just all in their head about the difference between colostrum and milk, and they get stressed out. Like I know a lot of moms be like, "Was my baby eating enough? It's colostrum." So like, can you explain like what colostrum is and like how that works?
So colostrum is the thick milk at the beginning. It's like that thick, compounded, concentrated milk that's lining your baby's gut. It's lining their intestinal wall. It's lining everything they need to be mature enough to handle your more transitional milk. So it's like it's the colostrum, transitional milk, and then it's mature milk. So colostrum is that thick yellow substance that comes out of your breast. Liquid gold.
Yes.
Liquid gold. That comes out right when you have your baby. And it normally lasts between the first day to the third day. And then people say, well, my milk came in. That means your transitional milk is in, and that hormonal push milk is in, and then it moves to mature milk. So your baby is getting enough milk. We have to understand. I think that's why education is so important when it comes to having a baby. And it's like we often talked about like the strollers and the best car seat. But it's like we have to get educated, because when you're educated, you know better and you do better. So when it comes to your breast milk, with your baby, okay, you're getting enough milk. Reason why is because your baby's stomach is the size of a tablespoon. Like, you have enough milk for that. I mean, the lowest supply got enough for that. I mean, come on, you got enough for that. The thing about it is, okay, when they're on your breast the whole time, they're trying to connect with your body and tell your body, hey, produce more milk for me. Or, hey, I'm not feeling well. Hey, I have an earache. Hey, this world is a lot. It's a big stimulation. All I heard was your stomach growling and farts. And now all I hear is noises and people calling my name.
Not farts.
You know what I'm saying? Like, our stomach probably sound like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, when it comes to now, you be on the outside, when you hearing the TV, you seeing light, the womb is dark. So there's so many reasons why a baby would be on our breast so often. So we got to understand that.
Yeah. So it was something you said, and it totally just went out the window.
I think I know what you're going to say.
What?
No, go ahead.
No, what do you think?
No, I'm going to see what you're going to say. Go ahead.
I honestly don't even remember. I don't remember.
About pumping?
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay, so with pumping, actually, no, let's go back before I get to that. So the colostrum, right? If you're in the hospital, like you said, it lasts for about 1 to 3 days. So for a person that goes to the hospital to have a baby, that's when you're in the hospital. So for those conversations with the lactation coach or the nurse, like, oh, well, you don't have no milk and the baby needs to eat. Yeah. What's like your feedback for that?
It's most likely a lie. Like, you have milk. Your body has been producing milk. Like, you have, like, from the moment you got pregnant, your body knows what it's doing. I think we have to trust our bodies. And like I said, being educated. Because when you know the truth, somebody can't tell you a lie. Like, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of times, especially first babies, we don't know. Like, we're just like, I'm so excited. Look at my belly grow. I want to see my pictures. You know, and it's like, then you had a baby, you're like, oh, culture shock. What's going, I'm supposed to feed you? Like, what's going on? So you have milk. Trust your body. And another thing is, look for the wet diapers. If they peeing, something is in there. You know what I'm saying? If they're peeing it out, they're getting something. So that's something too. Like, you should have as many wet diapers. Like, for the first week, it should be as many wet diapers as as many wet diapers as the day they are old. So they're 1 day old, 1 wet diaper. 2 days old, 2 wet diapers.
Oh,
now,
you tell me that, sis.
But that changes, because for my kids, that was not true. Oh, okay. Like, it was like first day 4 wet diapers. I'm like, well, she getting it. Like, so like that's just like a standard thing. But it's like that doesn't really happen. But that's like the least amount of diapers you want to have as far as wet diapers. They're 1 day old, 1 wet diaper. 2 days old, 2 wet diapers. So if they're peeing, they're getting something.
Right. So don't believe, like you said, you know the truth, you do better, and you can't
lie. If they're
you.
not peeing and they're not pooping, now we want to check to see, hey, like, what's going on? Like, are they okay? Like, are their digestive system okay? Is their liver working properly? But as far as if they're peeing and pooping,
that's good, because a lot of people think, okay, well, they don't have any wet diapers, so it's me. But like you just said, let's check the baby.
Let's check the baby.
Sure
they're a whole person.
Yeah,
Like,
not the you ain't got no milk.
Right.
It's just
like, and it's like, no, let's check it out. Let's see, is your liver working right? Like, is your latch, are you even sucking or getting air? Like, do my nipples need to be primed a little bit before? Like, some women have to actually prime their nipples to get the milk flowing, because the letdown is so intense that it's kind of hard for the baby to extract it. Some babies have a tongue tie or a lip tie, and that can interfere with the way that they're latching onto the breast. So it's so many different factors. I think we should exhaust all the factors. If breastfeeding is what you want to do, exhaust all the factors first, and then say, okay, maybe we need to supplement, or maybe we need to do whatever. But if you want to do this, try all the things, and then, we rule it out.
Okay, and now so going to pumping, right? So, on my third day, I was like, oh, I got liquid gold. I'm pumping. And next day, I was like, oh.
Shay wanted to be the pumping machine.
Man, I got excited. When I seen it, I'm like, oh, I can pump. And y'all, I went crazy. And like I told y'all, I got an infection because I didn't know what to do with my milk. I didn't know like one day you can do that. The next day, if you don't do that same thing, now it's stuck.
Like rock hard.
And I was like, what?
Power to people breath.
Boom! I was like, what is wrong?
Cement blocks. Like, what is this?
It hurts so bad. But okay, so when it comes to pumping, I think, and I'll say my piece after, but like, what do you think about pumping, like for the first time mom, or not even first time mom, but you just, period. Like,
pumping, I believe that, okay, so first time moms, or like I said, any time mom, most women, if you are going back to work, you'll go back within that 6-week frame. I don't believe that's enough time sometimes, but whatever. But so I believe that women should not start pumping until that 6-week time. Reasoning why is because you want to get the latch right. You don't want nipple confusion. Like with Journey, that's what we had. Like my first daughter, I pumped a little bit at the beginning for her, just to kind of give myself a break at times. For my husband to feed her, and then for my pediatrician, she was saying she wasn't gaining enough weight. So can you pump to like just try to get as much milk as you can get out, just so she can gain weight?
So when you said nipple confusion, because so you were pumping, then giving her the bottle.
I was pumping, giving her the bottle, and my breast.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
The nipple, my nipple, and the bottle nipple is two different things. So when she would feed from the bottle, she would also come back to my breast and be like, "What is this? It came out easier on the bottle." And it's like, "No, come on." And I only pumped for a couple of weeks for her because they wanted her to gain weight. Because she got down. She was born 6 pounds 3 ounces and got down to 5 pounds and 10 ounces, and she wasn't gaining weight as fast. So they were like, "Hey, can you kind of just tell your body, come on, hurry up." But I'm glad that I just stuck it out, and my pediatrician was super on like time with it, because she was like, "Hey, look, you can do this." Like she encouraged. I was like, "Thank you," because someone like, "Here you go, formula. You can't do it, sis." And it's like she's like, "Just keep trying, try pumping, and try to just get it out and keep going." I'm like, "Okay," and it worked out. It was fine. We went back to the breast and the bottle. But when it comes to pumping, I think the 6-week mark, when you're getting ready to go back to work, or if you're staying at home, especially right now, people working from home, whatever.
Right.
That's a good time to start pumping, because you don't want to, number one, you don't want to overwhelm yourself. You're going to get all this milk in, and your body is still in that hormonal push. Most women have an oversupply.
Yep.
So, and then you've got an oversupply. Now you overstimulating your breast.
Ooh, child.
Because the breast is on supply and demand. So you're already on that hormonal push of milk. Now you're telling your body, I want a hormonal push of milk, and I want a supply and demand. So I want you to give me as much milk as possible. And if the baby's not extracting that milk out, it can lead to infections, and it can lead to stuff like that. So I would say 6-week mark. If you can't go as far as 6 weeks, I would say 4.5 weeks. But earlier than that, you don't need to.
Especially not on the third day.
Oh God, on the third.
So like basically, I told my body I had triplets.
Oh yeah, you had quadruplets.
And then Aubrey, I thought she was eating a lot, but then sis won't. I'm like, no, drink more.
I got more for you.
Like, I got some more. She's like, I'm full actually. I'm like, you want
need that. And then even by like a week or 2 week mark, it's the size of a golf ball, their stomach. So it's like, if we educate ourselves to know, okay, how much can they actually hold? We will have confidence to be like, oh, I got enough for that.
Yeah,
like, I can do that.
Yeah. So this is my take on it, right? So if you need to pump, because like you said, some people don't have the time, and they just like, okay, well, I don't have time to, to wait that long. And so I go back to work, like say in 2 weeks.
Right.
And so this is my take, and this is what I would say. I think if you need to do that, then you should pump. But because of the nipple confusion, then you can store that milk. Like you don't have to actually like use it right now.
Absolutely.
So you can still use that time to feed your baby, strictly on your breast, but you can also pump. That way when it is time for you to go, because right now I'm in a predicament where if I was to leave, or like say for instance, Aubrey goes to daycare every day.
Right.
And so I have to make sure to pump that day, like while she's at daycare, in order to but sometimes like my milk supply is just, or the pump not acting right, and to get it down. So like I'm like so nervous to like, oh, I'm not gonna have enough milk, So I'm like stressed out about that. Now I'm not saying you need like a whole freezer full.
And you don't. We see this on Instagram, and you don't.
Like that.
You don't.
I mean, do what you do, but I just think that's crazy.
Yeah. Like, and some women have oversupplies and they need to get it out. Like some women, like they donated and stuff like that. That's great. But if you don't, my thing is always, if you don't need to do it as early, then don't. If you do, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So yeah, and like I said, storing it and not, because of the nipple confusion. Now, Aubrey didn't have nipple confusion. I think the only time I got like scared is because I was using the nipple guard and I lost it, and then we was in the car and I was trying to feed her, and the nipple guard sticks out.
Right.
It's like boom, and my nipple was like
boom. You ain't gonna have no problem finding this.
Yeah, no, she was getting it, but my nipples were flat, and so she had never. She was like. I was like, no. And she was frustrated. I was frustrated. She was hungry. I was hungry. Yeah. It was just not cute at all. Like, it was a hot mess. And
the worst is
like,
a frustrated baby trying to feed. Yes. You're like, I'm trying.
I was trying everything, and I was like, oh my gosh. So then it went into the whole, like, oh my gosh, the nipple guard, I needed to like, transition her. So this, I'm not worried about trying to keep up with it because I lost them all the time. But okay, so when it comes to milk changing as the child gets older, can you try to like explain that?
So within a 24-hour period for breastfed babies, most babies are going to consume between 24 ounces of milk to 36 ounces of milk within a 24-hour period. Now, here's the cool thing about that. So that determines on how many times you feed. So for example, let's say you gave your baby 6 ounces of milk in one feeding, right? That means if they did that, that means within a 24-hour period, they will probably eat about 4 or 5 times. Because we do 6 ounces times 4, that's 24 ounces.
Right.
6 ounces times 5, 30 ounces, right?
You better come on, math.
That is basic math. Don't ask me 12 times 24. I'll be like, you gotta with chocolate.
She was throwing them out, but go ahead.
6 times 5, don't play me. Come on here, man. No, but names that we forget to say. Come on, I just had a baby, mom brain. 6 times 5, 30.
We were talking about
I got you. Okay, 24-hour period. Boom. Yeah. Okay. So when it comes to that is why between the ages of 0 to 6 months, the baby will consume the same amount of milk. Now the amount may increase per serving, but that also means that the amount of times that you feed within the 24-hour period goes down. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So as a baby, it's like newborn 10 times a day, 12 times a day. By 4 months, it might be 8 times a day, 6 times a day. By 6 months, they're feeding less. No, your composition of your milk is changing. The protein intake is changing. The calories are changing. The the vitamins are changing. And your breast milk is so intelligent and it's so amazing. It literally is pretty much customized for what your baby needs at any age. So from 0, 6 months, 3 years, 10 years, whatever, 10 years old, whatever.
You want to go to 10 years.
You want to go to 10 years, like you are, like, woo. But you're probably pumping that out, You might be nursing other kids and
we don't want a 10-year-old.
Yeah. You're probably just nursing other kids. You might put in their smoothie or something. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's what I do with Journey.
So I was telling JR like a while ago that I believe that, cows, some humans drink cow milk. I don't. But I feel like cow's milk is for cows. It's to grow cows. And so I was telling JR, like, I feel like I'm supposed to be supplying the milk for our family.
Absolutely.
And he's
Why
like,
not?
I'm not drinking your milk.
How rude is it for you to drink from a cow
but
that you don't even know?
But you don't drink
You never even met her.
Exactly.
But you can't drink for this trap?
He was like, no, I don't think
them
that's how
farmers got them nasty gloves on. Just
exactly.
And you can't, and I can use my hand sanitized hand.
Exactly.
And squeeze.
Or I can use the pump, you know what I'm saying?
Let my husband I feel well in his smoothie.
So, do you do that for real?
Absolutely.
Does he know?
Yeah.
I was about to say, because he know now.
Yeah, I mean.
But I was going to text him just in case he didn't watch it. You
like,
know, Kyle be putting, I know, let me have to do that.
Yeah. I mean, and you don't have to tell them.
Yeah.
Just after they drink it.
So, about the components, right? So, yesterday I was pumping, and I was getting my hair done, and the milk was in the pump still, and I could, like, see it, because I have, like, the willow. And so, I was looking at it, and it had, like, I don't know, like, you seen the liquid behind it after
it's fat?
Yeah, okay, so it's fat.
Yeah.
Okay, it looked really nasty to me. And I was the first thing I thought of, that's why Aubrey got gas. What is that?
It was floating or was it just separated?
It was probably separated because it was sitting there for a while. So does that have anything to do with the components too? Like, I don't think it looked like that at first.
Yeah, so at the beginning, so let's think about like colostrum is low in fat, right? But it's high in like the gut microbiome stuff. It's really good to like coat their gastrointestinal, you know what I'm saying? Tract that. The GI tract.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
there you go.
Yes.
Okay. Big word. So, you didn't say come on, big word. You just said come on, multiplication.
Because at first I was like, I don't know.
You could have shit me on with that word.
My bad. I'm sorry.
You shit me on with 6 times 5.
I mean,
like that's basic. No, but
this big word.
So that's low. As they get older and they need to gain more weight, the breast produces more milk and produces more fat. So breast milk is about 87 to 90% water. The rest of it is fat, protein, all that cool stuff like that. So when you see that separation, when you put it in the refrigerator or your freezer or whatever, you'll see like it's clear, and then it gets like this solid thick line of whipped cream.
Yeah, no, literally.
That's fat.
And if I'm like really, really, really engorged and then I pump, it's like clear first and then it's like a white color.
And then we have to talk about foremilk and hindmilk. So your foremilk is the milk that's already ready. When your baby gets onto your breast, that's what they're getting. They're getting the foremilk. They're getting that. It's easy to get. It's right there, always readily available. Now, if they stay on the milk long enough, which they should, then they'll get the hindmilk. The hindmilk is the fatty, the thick, more stickier substance that's in your milk. So foremilk is always great. That's why, for me, I'm not a fan of timing babies on breast. I'm not a fan of they can only eat for 2 minutes as they get older. It's like, no, I mean, no one times us. Like, we at a restaurant, because you know sometimes you at a restaurant with your good friends, you are there for 5 hours. Like, yeah, you see people coming in. I know y'all need a seat, but
I'm still finish my conversation.
I paid for this table, okay? You know, but with that, no one times us when we're eating. So why is it that, like, I remember a pediatrician told me, this wasn't my pediatrician, it was when my pediatrician wasn't available, we went to another one, and she was like, she's using you as a pacifier, only give her 15 minutes on the breast, that's it. And I think Journey was maybe like, I don't think she was a month. And I'm like, so what you're telling me is that my baby is manipulative, and what you're telling me is that my baby is grown enough to not need nothing.
Exactly.
And
that's not the case.
She all right. She only 1 month old. She okay. It's like, no, like she needs something. So with that, I understood, like, okay, I forgot what I was talking about. What was I saying? I just had a baby.
So you just lost your whole thought.
Whole train of thought.
I forgot what you was talking about too, because you just was talking, and I was like, I mean.
What was I talking about?
Timing.
Time at the break.
There you go, cameraman. He listening.
Book and Focus Media, okay? Because they listen to you. All right. They ain't just recording. My God. They are listening to the content. You know somebody listen to your content, okay? They ain't just back there listening. They listen to the content to know when you go off, okay? Because I went off. I just had a baby. I don't know. I'm hoping my breast don't leak. I mean, my God. I'm like, Jesus, are my babies okay? She asking me these complex questions. Okay. All right. Time on the breast. Yeah, so we're back. So we're back. That's what I was saying. The pediatrician, yeah, we got it. Thank you, God. Okay. So that's why I'm not a big fan of timing breast, because you don't know how long it's taking your baby to get to that hind milk. So that's one thing I would say to moms who, like, the baby's not really gaining weight. Let the baby stay on there, because maybe they're having a hard time getting to that hind milk. Maybe they're just like, and they'll fall asleep. Wake them up, because maybe they're just getting that foremilk, and they need to get that hind milk that is on that they actually have to work to get. Foremilk is really easy to extract. Hind milk, they have to actually be on there for a little bit and just get it off. And it might be 10 minutes, it might be 15 minutes. It might be 20 for some babies. It just depends on how good the latch is and how, good they're pulling it off. So.
Yeah, so Aubrey now, she's 5 months. She'll be 6 months next
That's so
week.
crazy.
Whoop, whoop. And so
time flew.
Yes. And so wow. You must have brought the forgetting spirit.
Oh no!
I told you.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
Liz just lost that whole okay, but I'm gonna go
Don't
to
say I brought the forgetting spirit.
You did.
Don't even do that.
This ain't never happened
I just
before.
had a baby. She'll be 3 months next week.
Well, look. Well, another point that I can just go to. So, with I remember when I was pregnant with a lot of people on my Instagram, and we were chatting, and some people decided to do formula, which their prerogative, and then I was telling them about breast milk, just my thoughts on it, not having to ever breastfeed, but I was telling them what I thought about it. But I know one particular female, she was saying like, oh, like I can't do that thin milk, like it's just too thin, it doesn't keep the baby full. And a lot of my relatives, my husband relatives, was like, I don't know if she's full. I think that the breast milk is too thin, and so it's something that's commonly told to women. Like formula will, it'll feed them, they'll sleep longer and stuff like that.
Put a little rice in their rice cereal.
So can you speak to that for all of
We have to understand that breastfeeding is a natural occurrence. Like, just like how you said with cows. Like, cows provide breast milk for their calves, so we provide breast milk for our kids. I mean, it's a natural thing. The body is made to feed the kids from our breasts. So to say that it's not enough, it is enough. Now, if we're talking about a supply issue, now, most of the time, women do not have a supply issue. And I know some people might get upset about this, but most of the time you don't. It's lack of education, lack of support, and also just it might be a biological, like a weird thing going on. It might be a lash. It might be a tongue tie. It might be baby digestive system not working too well. It may be we're timing them at the breast. It might be a number of things. You know what I'm saying? So most of the time it's not a supply issue. It is a thing of, okay, let me figure out. And then if there is a supply issue, there's things you can do. You can take the mother's milk tea. I suggest don't do that unless you really need it, because I first baby for me, I was like mother's milk tea every day, and I'm like, why are these cement blocks here? What is going on? Like, they already big enough. Like, now we're sitting here with cement blocks, and I'm just Jesus.
To speak to that too, so I did like a little experiment with myself. So I've never taken any like milk tea or anything like that. However, so what I did was, I was like, let me see, because I lost like a lot of supply in my left breast. And so I was like a one-side feeder for a very long time. And I'm kind of still am, because this one just produces way more, because she's on it more.
And that's always the case. It's like a dominant breast, yeah.
This one real dominant.
This one real dominant. It take over.
It like, I'm not going to pan all the way to the camera because it may be a little off right now. So what I did was I was like, let me see something. Let me do something, then I'll be able to share it. So being that it did work, I'm just going to share it. So I lost the supply a lot in this breast. And so what I did was I drank a lot of water. And then I kept putting her on that breast first. And then like kind of letting her empty that out. And then switch her to the other one, just so that breast knows, okay, I need more.
To get more.
And it worked.
Yeah.
And like at first, like I was like, oh, it's not working. I kept trying. I was like, I just want to see, so I'm not gonna do, the supplements to
And that's awesome that you try to problem solve it on your own.
Yeah, I was like, let me see if it works. So it does work. So to anybody like losing their supply, I would say try that first. Like to drink a lot of water, still put them on the breast. Now it was just dried out. I don't know how that works, because I ain't never been dried out.
No, dried out, you can do the supplementation for that. You can do the mother's milk tea.
So it'll bring it back.
Yeah, you can do
How long can you be like dried out before that happens?
Now, I've seen people be dried out for months, and they get their milk back. Like, that's, but by the baby sucking on it. Like, by the baby just keep on sucking. I'm like, that's incredible. Like, that, I mean, that hasn't happened to me, but I've seen that happen to people, and I'm like, that's dope. Like, that's really cool.
I didn't know that.
But, I mean, at the same time, it's a thing of, like you said, drinking a lot of water. Like, breast milk is 87% water, 90% water. So we need water. And then also eating enough. Like, some people don't even eat it. After you have a baby anyway, it's kind of like you're just trying to eat as much. You snacking, trying to eat as much as you can. Eat. Breastfeeding, like, literally, you burn about 500 to 400, 500 to 600 calories a day.
They're taking a lot from you.
You have to eat more to be able to compensate for it. Like, if your supply is going in, like you said, drink that water. If you want to do supplementation, if you desperately need that, do it. But don't do it just because it's like the cool thing to do, because those jokers will get hard.
Yep.
And you'll have to pump to relieve yourself because you're like, I need something. Yeah. You forgot what you said.
Will you be saying stuff? I'll be like, oh yeah, I need to talk to that point, and then by the time you're done,
I think we're talking stories. So it's like we go on a journey, and then we're like, yeah, that's awesome. So what were you gonna say?
Oh, okay, got it back. So when it comes to like wrapping up breastfeeding, you've done it for how long you want to do it, whether that be 6 months, a year, whatever it is. Because you went how long your first time?
Journey, I went 2 years and 3 months.
Okay, so Kaya did 2 years, 3 months. What does it look like wrapping it up? Like, how do I successfully wrap it up and like tell my boobs, stop producing milk without, well, I guess you just talk to us. I don't know how it works. So.
Yeah. So with Journey, my goal was to stop at 2 years. Like, I was like, I want to stop at 2 years. That's a good time. And we went 2 years and 3 months, so it's not too much over it. Then I got pregnant. So that was like my push to be like, well, and now some people they are pregnant and nursing. I just didn't want to do that.
So you can do that?
Oh, you can do that.
Okay.
It's amazing. Yeah, you can nurse your toddler and your infant at the same time. You can nurse while you're pregnant. That's great. For me, I was already tired of being pregnant and then having a toddler. So I was just like, yeah, I think we're gonna wrap this up now. We did 2 years and 3 months. I think this is good. And she loved the boobie. She loved it. We were exclusively breastfeeding. So
what did she call it?
Boobie.
Okay. I'm trying could think of a nickname. So
yeah, she goes to Booby.
Okay.
Or when she couldn't say anything, she'd be like, or like, you know, the pulling of the shirt,
Yeah.
all the stuff.
I'd be
like, yeah, all this stuff. They don't care. Like, give me my food. But she goes to Booby. But so yeah, so I got pregnant. So that was my push to be like, okay, like let's go ahead. So the weaning process, I was really gentle with her because I had to understand, like, yes, it's my body. Yes, like. I'm ready to be done. You're getting big. You twisting all over the place. Now it's like, okay, girl, come on here. Like, hurry up. But when they get older, y'all, like people that's 2 years old, I can imagine. It's so fast. Like they know how to suck. They know how to let. They can put themselves on it like. And they get it in like 5 minutes. Like you're done. So it's not really. It's actually to me easier. Because you can also tell them, no, not right now. You know, you can tell them, yeah. So versus the baby's like, no. You're like, okay, I'm coming. You know, but. The weaning process, I was really gentle with her because of the fact that this is all she's ever known. From the day she was born, the day our babies are born, and we're breastfeeding them, that is like the most intimate and the only thing that they know that is sure. They know for sure I'm gonna get this breast. They know for sure I'm gonna get this milk. They know for sure it's gonna be warm. It's gonna put me to sleep, or it's gonna wake me up. I'm gonna feel good if I'm tired. They know that. So for me, psychologically, for her, I wanted to be gentle. So our weaning process took about a week. Not that bad. And I would just keep saying no, like nobody, because it's supply and demand. So if she's not on it, it's gonna say, oh, we won't need that much. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, nobody, not right now. Of course, there's tears. Of course, there's like, no, but I want. I'm like, I know. But at the same time, I got books for her. She learns by reading. Like she loves, like she's a visual learner. She loves to like read and like look at a video. So I got books on like, mommy's milk is going bye-bye, but mommy's love's gonna stay here. You know, like stuff like that. And I would talk to her about it. Like, you see that little boy right there? He's eating his food. He's not eating the milk anymore, you know. So it's like she was always been a great eater. She's loved to eat. We did baby-led weaning as far as her food. She was really good with that. But I was gentle with her. So I think that's one thing with parents. If you're looking to wean your kid off, just look at how they learn best. If it's books, if it's or if they're younger than that, they're like 6 months. And you're like, okay, we done. She ain't gonna read no books. She don't know how to read. You're like, that's me. If that's the case, it's supply and demand. So if you want to wean them off, don't put them on as much. You know what I'm saying? But making sure if you are leaving out the breast milk, you're adding in something. So whether it's a fortified milk, if it's a formula, if it's time for baby-led weaning as far as with food is concerned, like you are supplementing for, like you're not just leaving you with milk and now you high and dry. It's like, okay, we need to switch off on something, you know? Now, I did not give Journey a milk because she's 2 years old. She know, like,
so for somebody younger that wants to, because I think your baby needs milk up until a year. Okay, so if you stop, I guess at what point won't you don't need formula, but like pea milk or almond milk is available?
So up to a year, the baby needs milk, period. So if you're going to stop at, let's say you stop at 6 months, you stop breastfeeding, you need to give them, if you have pump milk in the freezer, then okay, cool. But then if not, you need to give them formula, some type of thing for formula. That's that. Then if it's after a year, breast milk is still great to have after a year. If you have pump milk or if you want to give it to me yourself, or you can give them a fortified milk and give them a milk, or you don't just give them water. They don't necessarily need, the reason why they say breast milk after a year, as far as, okay, a fortified milk, is because it has nutrients and vitamins in it. If you're giving your kid a well-balanced diet, they don't necessarily need a fortified milk after a year. So people would ask me all the time, so what did you transition Journey with after 2 years? I'm like, water. Like, I mean, she drinks like, you know, she's vegan, we're both vegan. So she drinks like, you know, almond milk, hemp milk, coconut milk, like she drinks all the milks, but she's a well-balanced diet enough to know that she's getting all her nutrients from her food and her supplements, so she's good to go, you know. But it just depends on your age of your kid.
Right.
Okay. But after a year, you can switch to a water, or if you want to do a fortified milk. And fortified just means it has added nutrients in it.
Right. Okay. So, but like pea milk and almond milk is cool. Okay. Cool. Now, lastly, I just want to
Don't do that. All these episodes you've been doing it.
No, honestly, y'all, I don't know if y'all noticed, but this is the first episode. I ain't really looked at my notes.
Oh, true.
Look at that. You know what I'm saying?
Today's episode is sponsored by Beautifully Adorned Children's Collection by Rama Todd. Be sure to go on their website at www.beautifullyadornedchildrenscollection.com and get your little one beautifully adorned. Back to the show.
So the last thing is, you know, what other things can we do with our breast milk? Like, it's used for like so many things. Of course, to feed our babies, but what else can we use it for?
It's really great for their skin. So for Justice, for my 3-month-old, like after her bath, I squirt her with breast milk and I just rub that on her skin. It's so good for her. Also, lotion.
Is she sticky? Well, that's a question people ask.
No, because I always, well, it does get kind of sticky when it dries. It's kind of weird because it has like that like coating. When you put it on them, it's kind of like, oh, it's kind of shiny. Interesting. You know, but I always put like a coconut oil on her or like a raw shea butter.
On top of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or like a vitamin E oil. And I make like breast milk oil, and it has like breast milk. It has vitamin E oil in it. And I'll just like rub that on her so it's not sticky. That light oil kind of like, you know, messes it up like that. Lotions, baths, if they break out, like Journey, she's had an allergic reaction to peanut butter one time, and then it went away. She's not allergic anymore. But I would squirt her with breast milk for that. Also,
I squirt her. I just squirt it.
Yeah.
So right now, Aubrey has a breakout under her her chin, so it's like right here on the side of her neck and then under her neck. And I'm thinking it's from probably sweat or either she doesn't drool a lot anymore. But I'm like, it must have been something wet.
Sweat, yeah.
But like maybe I'll just squirt her with some breast milk tonight.
Yeah,
Let's
definitely.
see if that works. Okay.
Oatmeal bath. It's good for that.
When you say oatmeal, when people say oatmeal bath, are they talking about actual oatmeal?
Yeah. And
Okay.
it's messy. And it can clog the toilet. I mean, whoa, hey, wait a minute. We're not bathing them in the toilet. I meant the tub.
I was like, okay, this is going too far.
You're squirting with breast milk, and the baby's taking a bath in the toilet. I'm like, what type of parent are you?
I've got to call the people, Kaya.
No, in the tub. But it's so beneficial.
So
chamomile tea. Oatmeal
Yes.
and breast milk, if they're having an allergic reaction, rashes, like just irritability with their skin, it's amazing.
Right, now the chamomile tea, let's speak to that just really quick before we wrap it up. I remember when Aubrey wasn't feeling too good and she was like, I guess teething. I don't know what the girl be doing. Nodding on stuff. Kaya told me to put some, I always call it chamomile tea. What is it? Chamomile.
You're thinking about chamomile lotion, maybe. Yeah, but chamomile tea.
Chamomile tea. Boil it, put it on a wash rag and let her suck it out. And it worked. She was like, but this is the thing. It worked. I drunk it too for her to get it through my breast milk. That's what Kaya told me to do. And then I was sleepy. So do not drink it.
She acting like it's a drug that got you knocked like
I was tired.
Yeah,
I was
it is very calming. Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm glad I was at Jared's parents' house and I had some help. Because we would have been here. I'd have been like, Aubrey, you got to fend for yourself, babe, because I'm tired. So yeah, and like we bathed her in it. We put it on her and stuff like that. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get some recipes from you. I'm gonna put them in the link in the bio on YouTube. So if you're listening on Apple Music, you can go on YouTube and check those recipes out. Yeah.
And when they're eating solids, you can put it like in their smoothies and in their food and stuff like that too.
Yes, and I'm gonna start doing that for JR too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
For sure. I think it's gonna help him out a lot.
If he eats cow's milk, why not my milk?
Exactly.
You know.
And we don't drink cow's milk here, but I mean he almonds, so I mean
yeah.
I think I'm a little bit better than almond.
If you can get juice from an almond, surely you can get
almondilla
juice from me.
I look better than her. But anyways, okay. Well, is there any tips of wisdom or anything you want to say to our moms before we leave?
I would just say, if you want to be successful, if this is what you want to do as far as breastfeeding, I would say 3 things. Know that you can do it. Like, you can do it. Like, that's number 1. Number 2, get educated about it. Because when you know your why, it's more in depth. Like, if we're moving to a new city or you're going to a new job, or when you learn, okay, taking a trip, right? You want to look at all the restaurants, all the attractions. Ooh, this is going to be something. You get more invested into it, you know, and you're like more excited. If you just say, I'm going to breastfeed without any education, any support, any inspiration, any type of fluffiness around it, just kind of dry and it's lonely. You know what I'm saying? So get educated, find a support system, find moms who breastfeed, your husband, your partner, like just somebody.
Oh, plug.
Friends.
What's your Instagram?
Kaya Hopkins.
Okay, follow her, guys.
Yeah, some cool things are popping off.
Yeah.
Guys. So get a support system. People that can help you. Be like, girl, I know it's hard, but you can do it, girl. You can do. You know, that's so beneficial, and I think that would be good. You know.
Yeah, it's very, very helpful. So, I was going to say something.
Oh my
gosh, it's gone.
It's the season finale.
Darn. Huh?
It's the season finale.
Yes! Oh yes! Guys, it is the season finale, so this will be the last episode of season 1. Thank you for reminding me. So we are wrapping the season up. I'm happy to close it off with you. It's so exciting. Oh my gosh. We got some really good things coming for season 2, so stay tuned. Follow us on the Mommy Me Please brand on Instagram for updates. And something exciting happened that every person that was on the panel this season will be doing, and they don't know yet, and so I'm gonna let them know about that. And yeah, I think that's it.
It's it.
See you guys.
Together.